Hey guys, Steve here, singledadfitdad.com. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video here. This week I wanted to answer another question. As you know, I'm trying to answer a question from a client or a reader once every week. And today's question, I get quite a bit actually, and it's mostly from men who are struggling with eating late at night, kind of getting the cravings, and usually after dinner, before bed, you're watching TV or relaxing, and you want food, whether it's sweet food, salty food, junk food, something very common, and it's a problem. A lot of times those calories are just going to sit there, and over time, it's just going to create extra body fat that you don't want. So this has worked for me in the past. Just some suggestions that I'm going to have for you to try, and hopefully it helps you out. So first thing you want to do is the obvious: take it out. A lot easier said than done, though, especially if you have kids. My kids love to eat all kinds of sweets, pretzels, candy, all that. I mean, anything they can get their hands on, they love it. We try to limit it, but it's still in the house. And after they go to bed and I'm getting tired, sometimes you want that. So you dip into the stash, and before long you've eaten, a whole box of Mike and Ike's. I would suggest just get rid of it. It is going to suck. You're going to want that craving at some point, and if it's just not there, you can't have it. You're going to be forced to have something else, which in the short term does suck. But ultimately, it's going to work for you just because you get used to not having it in the house. So also try not eating after a certain time. I just kind of threw 8 up there as an arbitrary number. Maybe you go to bed later than that, earlier, I don't know. But let's try to just set a clock and stop eating after a certain time, regardless of what it is, because that's another issue. There's a couple of different sides of that debate of whether or not eating after a certain time or eating late at night leads to body fat. Some people say yes, some say no. I'm in the camp that I believe that it does. I just don't think that it's healthy to load up on food right before you go to bed, where your metabolism is at its slowest. Drink lots of water. Anywhere between a half a gallon and a gallon will really offset some of those cravings. You'll be less likely to jump into the pantry and grab, pretzel rods or Ritz crackers or cheesy crackers or whatever it is, because you'll be full of water. And not only there's so many benefits to drinking water on top of that, that's just another added bonus of feeling full and not wanting to grab some junk. Cleaning up your diet is going to be important too. So as you start eating better, and my hope is that you are starting to eat better as you start exercising, you're not going to want the junk food. You're going to have a taste for good food. For example, a couple years ago, I was doing a very strict paleo diet. There was basically just lean meats, fruits and vegetables, and nuts and oils. So after a couple of months of that, I decided, I forgot what it was now, but I had eaten something, I think it was even McDonald's cheeseburger, and it was horrible. The salt, the grease was so terrible for my palate at that point because it had been retrained. So that's kind of my thought behind this is start eating better foods. You won't have the taste, or if you do have the taste and you have something like Ben & Jerry's ice cream, it's not going to taste good, so you're not going to sit there and eat the whole container of it. Training hard as well, that's important, because as you start training, you're going to not want to offset your success, right? So you're busting your ass in the gym. The last thing you want to do is come home and pig out on a bunch of shit, right? I mean, it's just kind of counterproductive. So you're not going to want to start eating junk food if you're training hard. If you're half-assing it, you're going once in a while, you walk on the treadmill for a little while, that's not really a commitment to fitness, and it's going to be a lot harder to stick to eating clean. But if you're training really hard and you start feeling a difference, seeing a difference, you're really not going to want to sabotage that by eating junk. Choose a few sweets that you like. There's nothing wrong with eating, dark chocolates or fruits or, really anything in limited quantities. So pick a few favorites and stick to it. So when you're really dying and you feel like you're going to go out and grab something really terrible to eat, just pop something in your mouth, whatever it is. It's a candy bar, Kit Kat, whatever. Once in a while is not going to kill you. Go to the store full. So when you go shopping, obviously you've heard this before. If you go starving, what are you going to grab? Garbage, right? Anything you can get your hands on. You're going to be craving certain things, and you probably a pretty quick thing, so packaged foods, you know, crackers and chips and stuff like that, where you can just shovel in your mouth. Go right after a big meal, so you're stuffed, and you know, and obviously shop the perimeter of the store, but you know, don't have that temptation there. Okay, and then the last one here is just avoiding boredom. A lot of people eat when they're bored. You know, if you're wrapped up in a TV show or you're on the computer or whatever, you know, maybe time flies, but if you're sitting around and you're actually bored, and that does happen quite a bit with people, but it's so easy to fill that time with just mindless eating, okay? And that's not a terrible thing if you're eating the right things. For example, you know, carrots and celery, for example, you're never going to overeat that because there's almost nothing in it. So, but, you know, when you are bored and you have some time to kill, a couple of hours, yeah, it's easy to get up, you know, fix yourself a snack, sit back down. You're hungry again, you get another snack. So anyway, these are some ideas that have worked for me in the past. You know, my hopes is that it helps you out too. If you have any questions at all, just hit me up, Steve at singledadfitdad.com. Thanks.